Hello world, I'm Attila. Today I will talk about the Atomic Habits book, and this was a book on how to change our habits, and how to modify and how to create new habits. Habits are very powerful. We can do things without thinking, and you can get a lot of work done this way. And our life consists of habits, useful habits and not so useful habits. The quality of your life depends on the quality of your habits. And this book said that you should make small changes every day on your habits. And the real change comes from the compound effect of these small changes. And, because of this compound effect, this is like an exponential scale. And habits often make no difference until you cross a critical threshold. So continuing a habit for a long time is hard because in the beginning you don't see any use of it. But after a while, this exponential growth will speed up. And it said that goals are good and they are important in our lives, but the best are systems, because systems are the best for making progress, while goals are good for setting a direction. So it means that systems are the processes and the way you think and your identity. And this is your system, and they are very good for making progress. And when you want to change a habit, there are 3 layers that you can change. We have the outcome, the processes, and the identity layer. And it's important to change the right one. The outcome is when you want a certain outcome. So you want to get done. You want to write the homework every day. So this is the outcome. The process, you want to read faster. And the identity layer is when you want to become a reader, for example. And the deepest change is when you change your whole identity. So instead, you want a certain outcome, you want to read more books. Instead of that, you want to become a reader. So this is a whole change in your identity. And if you want to change your identity, there are 2 steps that you can make. First is decide the type of person you want to be. And the second is prove it to yourself with small wins. It's important to win because if you do an action and you don't have this you don't have satisfaction afterwards, you won't do that action next time. So there is this 4-step model of habits. First, there is this cue. So something visual or some situation or some location will remind you of an action. This craving is when you want the satisfaction that you feel after you have done this action. The response is when you do the action, and the reward is when you enjoy the reward of the action and you feel this satisfaction. So for example, you go to the kitchen, you see a delicious food. You want to eat that food because you know it's delicious. You have the response, you eat that food, and the reward, you feel good because that food was delicious. And this is like a feedback loop, because the more you do it, the more you will remember to this satisfaction, and after a while you will start doing it automatically, and it become a habit. If you want to create a new habit or eradicate an old, there is this 4 laws of behavior change that you can use. The first law is about the cue, and you should make the cue obvious or invisible if you want to eradicate that habit. The second law is about the craving. You should make this habit more attractive or unattractive if you want to delete the habit. The third law is about the response, and you should make this response easy or difficult depending on your desired outcome. And the fourth law is the reward. You should make the reward more satisfying or unsatisfying. And if you want to change your habit, first you have to recognize them. So, for example, you can go throughout your day and you should write each step down and you should recognize the habits that you do. And if you want to create a new habit, you should give your habit a time and a location and make it so obvious that with enough repetition you will have an urge to do that habit. So for example, during the past months I started meditating before I went to sleep. And now I think it created this habit because I can't go to sleep before meditating 5 minutes. And I think meditation is great. And the other way is the easier. You can also put the new habit that you want to create after an already existing habit. So have this bad habit when I use my phone. The first app that I go automatically, I don't really control it. My thumbs that just go to Twitter. But if I want to check my emails when I woke up, I can put after I check Twitter, I check my emails. So you don't have to remember to a time and location. You can just put it after an existing habit. So you can pair an action that you want to do, checking Twitter, with an action you need to do, checking my emails. And the environment affects our habits. So you want to create a new habit. You can, for example, put a big yellow note on your computer. So you make this cue so obvious that you can't ignore it. And there comes this craving after the desire, the satisfaction after you have done this habit. And dopamine is released not only when you experience pleasure, but also when you anticipate pleasure. And we anticipate the reward that you do after completing a habit. And if you want to create a habit, you can also join into a new group because we imitate the habits of a group. So there are 3 groups in your life. First, the close, the family and the friends. Then the many, the people in your classroom, in the workforce, in the workplace. And the third is the powerful. So we imitate the successful people because we want to be successful as well. So you can join a culture to develop a new habit, because if you, for example, join into an athlete club, you will want to run as well, because if a habit can get us approval, respect, we find it more attractive. So if a runner says, well done, you have run well, then you will want to do that action again, because we want in our life to be understood and accepted. And if someone says that well done, they compliment you, you will make this habit again. And you should reframe your mindset. Highlight the benefits of avoiding your bad habit. So you know that if you eat a lot, you will get fat, but you should highlight in your mindset that if you don't eat a lot, then you won't get fat. And we learn habits by repetition, and you should make your habits easy to do and frictionless. If you want to create a new habit, so for example, going running or jogging, you should put the running clothes next to your bed, so it will be easy for you to, when you wake up, just get on the clothes and go running. And there is also this 2-minute rule. When you form a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes. And the goal is to start doing it, and you will continue afterwards. So you can have this new habit or goal that you want to read one page at least every day. And if you already started reading one page, after one page you won't stop. You will go ahead and you will read more. So, for example, when you want to do some physical exercise, starting is the more difficult. Getting out of the door, getting out into the open. So after you have started, it will continue. It's easy then. To make a habit stick, it has to be satisfying. And a great source of satisfaction is when you see yourself making progress. So you want to create a new daily habit. You should buy a giant paper calendar that you can touch. And you can track your habits. You should place a cross at each day when you done your habit, because it looks good when you just make your habits and you do that habit every day and you can see your progress. And if you miss one day, never miss the second, because after the second day it will be very difficult to get started again. And you can also create a habit contract. And the habit contract is when you tell other people about your habit. So you will have this social pressure. If other people know that you want to, for example, quit smoking, you won't be able to stop trying to break that habit, because then others won't respect you and you want to get approved by others. And there is this peer pressure. And you should also choose the right field of competition. So, for example, you shouldn't really create new habits about, for example, biology, because I'm not good at biology. I instead should create habits about IT, because that's the field that I'm good at. And we are most motivated when we do tasks that are right on the edge of our current abilities. So, the biggest threat to a habit or an action is not failure, because if you fail, you will try again, but boredom. Because if that habit doesn't interest you, it's too easy, then you stop making it. And habits enable us to do things without thinking, and that's why they are powerful. But there is also a downside of that. Because we don't pay attention, we can create these little errors, and so you should really pay attention to them, because these little errors are not good. And so the deepest change is the identity change, as I've said before, and it's important if you mastered an identity to grow beyond it. So, for example, you become a reader, but your ultimate goal is to become a journalist. Then you can, with these small steps, with small identity steps, you can grow into a journalist over time. So, this book was very interesting. Habits are a major part of our lives and they are very powerful. So, it was interesting to read about them. If you are interested in stuff like this, then you should subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow my podcast. I release videos every day for people who don't have enough time to read, but they know that they can learn a lot with reading. So I read one book every day and share my thoughts and the things that I learned from it. So I also have a Twitter account. I will link it in the description. I try to be active as well, and you can reach me there and in the YouTube comment section. So thank you for watching. Bye bye.